We have a celebration today, and we get to celebrate the outcome of our students after this cycle and how we, where they ended. And but we know that the school year is not quite over yet, so we know that they will continue to grow until the last day of school. So we have some specific outcomes right now related to a standard or to a few standards, depending on how many you were covering with your teams. I think we learned a lot this time around, and so we want to make sure that we have the time for you to present the information about what you learned. We need to remember that the main thing for when we share the outcomes is that we are always thinking about how your instructional approaches had the effect in our students and how that impacted their growth and their outcomes. So that is really the purpose of the data team process, and it's the purpose of our celebration today as well.
Our data, our pre-assessment data showed we had 0% exceeding, 8 meeting, 28 approaching, 28%, and 64% far to go. So of course we focused on the far to go. Okay. So when we got started with this, we were actually trying to combine a science unit. So we got into doing the habitats and life cycles, and that's we kind of combined those two together, which we kind of found that was pretty challenging to do. We might rethink that later. But our first question was, after we did this, we looked at it and we were seeing that trying to do the whole thing at once was just way too much. So we decided to break our teaching into chunks, and we decided we would teach the kids how to do a really good hook and an introduction, and that's what our CFA was based on. So our post-assessment, we ended up with 7% exceeding, 52% meeting, 35 approaching, and 13% far to go. So we were really happy with that.
So we started because we weren't sure, we noticed that kids weren't really sure what was the difference between a fact and opinion. So we spent a few days just focusing on that. Obviously this is an opinion, Ms. White is the best teacher ever. But we did some different facts and opinions about concrete things that they knew about, and I think all of us did something with like a snack too, and gave them an opportunity to do some hands-on work with expressing their opinions. So once we felt like they had a pretty good handle on that, we read a book about dams, because like they were saying, we tried to incorporate some of the science standards as well. So after we read the book on dams and did some kind of close reading activities with them, we came up with a class list of pros and cons for them to see that you can really find both sides of an opinion based on a text. We did this, and then we had groups fill out their own graphic organizers in teams using the same structure and the cons. And then And then using that, we modeled turning that into a paragraph, or 3 separate paragraphs, and again we use the color coding as well. And then for the students, I'll just show you a little example of what they did. After they did the graphic organizer, they pretty much just tried to imitate exactly what we did using their own content. And then they turned that into a full one.
Tired. This is a lot of work, teams. It's been really amazing. I don't know if you realize how much your kids grew from where they were at the beginning into your ending, your post-assessment data. It's truly very remarkable. And also, I would like to point out that your sharing today was so deep in thinking about your instructional practices that were directly tied to their outcomes. The other piece that I was very impressed with your sharing was your reflections for next year. What were some of the things that students were doing that that you had not maybe anticipated, and how you're thinking about it, how to address it for next year. Very amazing, extremely proud of you, good job, and we'll keep celebrating tomorrow. How's that? So talk to each other, yay! Thank you.